Alrighty guys, let's get ready for some math. So if you watched the last video, you saw that I went over my soft jaws, these guys, and I had a 1, 2, 3 block, this guy. I had it in here and I was checking the inside corner, that way, and then the outside corner of the 1, 2, 3 block. And I was comparing that, and I was getting some crazy different numbers I guess deltas between my X value when I probe this way versus my X value when I probe that way. And it was the same amount in the Y. So it was about, I think it was 44 or 45 thou difference between finding that outside corner and the inside corner. So after that, I posted that to, the Fadal Facebook group and on Instagram. I got some recommendations. I got my wiggler out. That was one of the things that was recommended and suggested, which I did, which makes sense. But I went ahead and then used, since I know that's a 1, 2, 3 block, I used that as a measuring stick, I'll say, where I'd measure the X distance with the Heimer and the Y, and then I followed through and did it again with the wiggler. And so I did that, and looking at my Heimer, these are my measurements that I got the first round. I got a measurement of 2.955. I don't know if you guys can really see that for my length and the width. I won't go over the details, but I'll basically just tell you the deltas. So I got a 44 thou difference and a 45 thou difference in the X and the Y. Which, when I first saw that, I was like, holy crap, that aligns to what I saw in the machine when I had things, off in the corners. And so I was like, okay, that's a data point. Let's go on and use the wiggler and do the same thing. So I found the width, I found the thickness, and I got, this was just over 3 inches. So that's, 4 thou or 4 tenths, 3.004. And then this is 0.9986 for the thickness. So that's what, a little over a thou and 4 tenths difference. So a lot closer than my 44 and 45 thou differences. So that's when I started trying to figure out, okay, there's a big difference here. I know the wiggler numbers, that shows me that at least the machine is still good. The machine is a lot closer than the 44 and 45 thou differences. And it was at this point when I started looking at different forums, different posts, searching online, trying to figure out what the heck is wrong, how can I, fix this or figure out what to do with this. And I'm actually, the first thing, I was surprised that none of the internet trolls called me out on something. But if you look here, you can see that, the red arm on the Heimer is right at the 100 thou, and then this is right at 0, this long black one. I'll put a picture up on the screen now, but and you can also see it in the previous video. I was way off. If you look at my previous video and the picture that I'm going to post on here, this guy was way over here, and this red arm I think was way off. And when I saw that, I was like, oh crap, that's an easy first step that I totally overlooked. And so it's supposed to be aligned. Your Heimers, they're supposed to be, aligned this way and zeroed, and mine wasn't. And that brought me back to a memory of back before I fixed the ATC, I had an accident. I had the Heimer loaded into the ATC, and I went to go tool change and bring it up into the tool head, and I went to go grab it, and it just knocked it out, and that sucker just went straight down and broke the tip on here. And with it being my first time using a Heimer, I was like, oh, okay, I know you just need to replace the tip and then, you know, retram it in to make sure it's 0, and you use these set screws up here to align it. And so I did that. I spun it around and I got 0, and then I started using it again. And then since that point, the operations that I've done, the second ops when you flip a part over, is just cleanup. Just clean off, deck it off, you know, similar to like this kind of stuff, where I just take off the back, and then I might have even just like filed the, you know, deburred the corners, and that was it. And it wasn't until I started doing my own projects, this stuff, where I had that one screw up. I don't know where it is right now. It might be, oh, here it is. This guy, where I finally needed to align a feature with my first op, and I found out that it was off. So that was the first thing I did. I fixed that. So I used these. There's 4 set screws around this face. I don't know if you can really see it, but there's one here, one over here, and then 2 over here. And so I used those and then rearranged this guy to where it read 0 with the black arm, and then this guy, the red arm, was right at the -100th thou mark. So I did that, then retrammed this guy in, made sure it was 0 with respect to the spindle, spinning it around in the machine. And then I did it again. All right, I measured my 1, 2, 3 block again in the machine. So if I take this stuff off, Heimer after. So I went, with all that done, I remeasured my X and my Y. So this should be 3 inches, and this should be 1 inch. I got 2.998 and then 0.9968. So that still wasn't the best. I mean, that's 2 thou, and this is a little over 3 thou. But this is a lot closer. This is 3 thou different versus the 44 and 45 thou. So I did that, and then I was like, okay, fine. I tried to tweak it a little bit more, and then I started to try and measure again with the 1, 2, 3 block, outside corner versus inside corner of the soft jaw. So I did that, and what I got was, these are the numbers, but my deltas are a little over 2 thou and a little over 1 thou. And that's where I stopped and said, okay, what does this mean to me? Is this good enough? So I thought about that, and I was like, okay, while I marinate on that idea, let's go over to the wiggler. And I used the wiggler to do the same exact thing. Found outside corner, I don't know if you can see it, outside corner of my Heimer. I like to draw the isometric view for some reason, I don't know why. But outside corner, inside corner of the soft jaws, and then I got 7/10 for my X delta and 8/10 for my Y. Less than half my delta of what I got with my Heimer. And so that again confirmed that, okay, good. My machine's good, wiggler is good, Heimer not so good. Tried to adjust it one more time, and I got a little bit worse. This is 2 thou 6/10, and then this is 1.5 thou, whereas previously I had just over 2 thou, just over 1 thou. So here's where I again, looking at forums, I actually emailed Heimer and said, what can I do? Because I saw that people try to repair theirs. Again, I'll also put all the forums and links that I found down in the description. Hopefully, maybe it'll help someone else. But I reached out to Heimer to say, okay, I've seen other people post about, you know, Heimer requires you to send your unit to them and they'll fix it. Of course, it's going to cost you. So reaching out to Heimer, they said that they'll take a look at it. Heimer USA, you basically, me as the customer, I have to send this to them, Heimer USA. I think they're up in Chicago area or Illinois. I don't remember where, but I have to pay for the shipping to get up there, but I don't need to pay for shipping from there to Germany when it flies over across the Atlantic. It takes about 4 to 5 weeks, I think, or 3 to 4 weeks, they said, for them to diagnose it. And then if I agree to the repair, another 3 to 4 weeks to have it come back to Heimer, USA. And then from there, they'll charge me and then ship it back to me. So that's potentially 8 weeks from now. If I were to do it right now, 8 weeks for me to repair this. So I weighed that option with living with the 2 thou and the 1 thou. I'll say, I don't know if backlash is the correct term to use, or if it's just, you know, just being off by that much. And so I came to the conclusion, I'm going to pursue repairing this, because I want to make parts right, and I want to have on second ops be closer than 2 thou and 1 thou. Ideally, I'd like this to be under or right at 1 thou, because I'd want to be able to do some decent jobs on here, maybe even do some commercial stuff to where, you know, I can promise, you know, definitely within 5 thou tolerance range, if not within a couple of thou. So 8 weeks, almost 8 weeks of not being with this guy. So what do I do now? Am I going to be out 8 weeks to be able to run this? No. I did what any other normal consumer would do. I bought another one. So again, with the idea of potentially becoming a business someday and running or being a manufacturing engineer in my day job, I know that I need redundancy. I need to have a backup to my main probe. So if this were, you know, a critical job I need to run, well, crap, I'm out weeks from a probe. Now I could use a wiggler and get my X and Y. And I don't know, can you use? I don't think you can use the Heimer for a Z, or the Heimer. I keep calling it a Heimer, or the wiggler. And so I really wanted something I could go off of numbers and not need to do this. So I bought another one, and what I'm about to do is I'm gonna take this guy out. I'm actually gonna use the box that this guy just shipped in and mail this guy out in it, and then I'm gonna replace this guy in here. And I figured since we're doing this, we're gonna do it live, I'm gonna set this guy back up. I need to clamp this down. I'm gonna put the Heimer back in here, and we're gonna do it live. We're gonna go measure that and see what we get. So give me a minute, I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, so I got the machine on. Everything's turned on. I just loaded the Heimer in there, and I was just indicating in the probe tip. And just to prove it to you guys, try and zoom in. You guys can probably see that it only moves about 1/10. I don't know if you really see it with the GoPro. But I promise you, it only moves about 1/10. Spinning it around. So now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set you guys up here. We're gonna go and find this. So I'm gonna take this guy out. Alrighty guys, I just did the math, and I'm smiling real big right now. So at each point on the 1, 2, 3 block, I went to a position, and then I wrote down what my position was, X, Y, and Z. And I document all 3 of them. That way I can tell if I stayed at the right Z height and the Y position on this side and then on this side. So I did that, and here are my numbers. I don't know where to start. Actually, I won't tell you the actual numbers. I'll just jump right to the end. Delta X, I got 3. I added up this number, 0.5393, and then negative 2.4607. You can do it yourself. This just adds right up to 3. So that delta between what this is supposed to measure is 0. And then my delta Y This is supposed to be 1, of course. And I got 0.9991. So that's about 9/10 difference. So that is really good. I'm gonna do one more test similar to what we did before, where I checked the outside corner. I'm gonna use the utilities menu on here, and we're going to find the fixture offset for the X and Y for this outside corner, and then do the exact same thing for the inside corner. So here we go. Who would have thought if if you don't crash your inspection tools or your probe, you'll get good numbers. Probe the outside of the 1, 2, 3 block. Probe the inside of that corner. I got my fixture offsets. I only did the X and the Y. The Z I didn't reset. You'll see that they're the same numbers. But total deltas, X was spot on for the outside corner and inside corner, and then the Y was off by 6/10. So I'm very pleased with all that. So I think that wraps up this issue. I now have confidence that I can put parts in there in my soft jaws. You know, these guys, or actually this lone other guy that I haven't machined yet. I have the confidence I can go put this in there and then cut it, and everything's gonna be the way it needs to be. And then I can now speed along and get through all my other parts that I need to make and know that they're gonna come out good. I guess I still need to touch off the Heimer on, actually, I bought a new tool, 246 block, something that was supposed to be dedicated for this. It's a little bit big, I will admit that, but to reduce any error, because I would use 1, 2, 3 blocks and stack 2 of them up to get to 4 inches. I just bought a 246 block to set on. That way I don't have to worry about, you know, stacking up and having any, I'll say, stack up issues. So there we go, guys. Next up, we are going to do some more machining, and then I got a little surprise in that box for the machine. It's coolant related, I'll give you that. But hopefully you guys, this was helpful to someone, or informational, or maybe just you enjoyed watching it. But if you like the video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe if it earned it. If not, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.